Good evening, everybody. And first of all, I want to start with a thank you to Deepak Chaudhary and the team at Eva Live for this opportunity. Yes, indeed, Bacardi was talked about. And before I dive into why live and experiential has been key for Bacardi, let me just tell you a bit about Bacardi, the company. Can we go to display settings in presentation mode? Okay, while we're waiting for the presentation to start, a bit about Bacardi. We're the largest privately held spirits company, family owned, and family owned for now 7 generations. Talking about the brand and going all the way back to when it started in 1862 when Facundo Bacardi, in February 4th, 1862, created Bacardi rums in Santiago de Cuba. And at that time, rum was an extremely harsh spirit. What Facundo was able to pioneer was really creating a light bodied but delicious rum. And at that point of time, the first distillery that Facundo Bacardi started at, essentially was in its warehouse, had a set of fruit bats hanging there. And Don Amalia, who was Facundo's wife, actually suggested that Bacardi take the icon of the bat because the bat in Cuba represented good fortune, health, prosperity. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of literacy, and therefore, the icon of the bat, the rum began to be called the rum of the bat. And that really started the story over 160 years ago for Bacardi. Bacardi as a company has been through a lot of challenges, a lot of adversity, earthquakes, hurricanes, fire, prohibition in the United States in the 1920s, and most recently in the 1960s, having to exile from Cuba, the homeland of the brand. And it's not just Bacardi that's, while the name on the door is Bacardi, we've got a set of global brands. Whether you look at Bacardi Rum, Patron, Super Premium Tequila, Grey Goose, Martini the Vermouth, Bombay Sapphire, and Dewar's, the world's most awarded scotch. And for each of these brands, live plays a key role. In the panel before, there was a conversation around, moments and really making moments matter for consumers. And that's really our purpose. It's not just about alcoholic beverages. How do we make celebratory moments, everyday moments, moments with your friends, moments with your family, make those moments matter? And that's really the purpose for Bacardi. In terms of culture, the 3 Fs really anchors us when we think about live. Being fearless, being a family and family ownership, treating each other like family would, and finally, a founder's mentality of entrepreneurial nature. But really, when we talk about live, it's part of something that we at Bacardi want to do. It's part of embedding our brands in culture, embedding our brands and making them relevant for consumers, to build brand desire. And live forms part of that to embed our brands in culture. And this is something that the brand Bacardi, when we entered the country in 1998, so almost 27 years ago, we started with that. And that's been really the fuel to build our brand equity across the years. From Bacardi Blast in 1998 to NH7 Weekender, now probably for about 13, 14 years, moving on to Casa Bacardi, which is our own in-house experiential property to bring our brand alive for consumers. Another panel talked about, having a long-term view. And all these properties have been there at least for a decade, if not more. And we've worked with partners again for a decade, if not more. How did this journey start? In the previous panel, there was talk about, taking a risk, being bold, and I talked about being fearless. Now, for Bacardi, we started this journey with Bacardi Blast. We started as a producer. We were the producer of the event. We got artists, international artists who hadn't played in India before, to iconic venues, to great drinks, and to great experiences in the 90s, in the late 90s. Our role then shifted from being a producer to being a curator of these events. So, working with promoters, working with artists and talent management agencies to really start curating great quality experiences for consumers. And where are we today? Today, we see ourselves as being the incubator for India's future music talent. So, a lot of the experiential work on Bacardi Rums is really about incubating tomorrow's talent and developing tomorrow's talent in the music arena. One of the tenets that we have, well, there are two tenets that we work from. The first is bring consumers experiences that money can't buy. Whether it's artists, whether it's drinks, whether it's engagement, bring that to life, something that money can't buy. And the second, it's about being experienced by a few, but seen or heard by many, which is about amplification. So while you might get only about 5,000, 10,000 consumers in an event, how do you amplify that before and after to build brand desirability? Now, I talked about Bacardi Blast, I talked about NH7 Weekender, and now Casa Bacardi. It's also being relevant and owning an occasion. So one of the things that we spotted early was Halloween as an occasion really becoming relevant amongst our target consumer. This was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And over the years, we've developed a Casa Bacardi for Halloween. So I'm going to share a short video about what we did last November on Halloween, where we took over an iconic theatre in Mumbai, Liberty, a lot of pre and post amplification, and an experience that money couldn't buy. I don't think the audio is working. Can we try the audio, please? No. Can the tech please help? So while we're waiting, one of the things that we saw with Casa Bacardi or with the Halloween is how do you be differentiated? How do you create an experience? And we talked to a few content creators, we talked to a few influencers, and build this program, something that was never seen before. While I'm waiting for tech, I'll also talk about another experience. Let me try if this works. So one of the things that really worked for us, and that's what the brand team and our partners looked for, is how do you not just use the 2,000 people who attend the event, but look at it before, collaborate with influencers, collaborate with fashion houses, collaborate with agencies to really bring about an extended amplification for just one evening at the Halloween. The second one I'm going to talk about is Dewar's. Now, Dewar's is the fastest growing blended Scotch whiskey in the country. That said, one of our big challenges was around driving awareness and driving engagement. And that's when we partnered with Eva Live on Bryan Adams and the Bryan Adams store in India that happened last year. A lot of research went into this. The team's really looking at what are the values that Bryan Adams stood for, what are the values that Dewar's stood for, and there was a strong match, a very relevant match from a target audience point of view as well. And that's what gave us the confidence to partner and take this ahead. So again, 7 cities across the country, across December, really amplifying the brand, making sure that people got delicious drinks, some great music, and again, an experience that money can't buy. So again, going back to our purpose, making moments matter for over 150,000 consumers, amplified before and after. We've talked about large-scale experiences and how large-scale live makes a difference for our brands. For Bacardi from 1998 till date and beyond. For Dewar's, which recently participated in the Bryan Adams concerts. Now, these are large-scale, large format. But we believe experiential and live also has a role at a much more niche level with key influencers, with top celebrities, particularly with our super premium brands. So another brand that Bacardi owns is Patron Super Premium Tequila, the #1 super premium tequila in the country. And the challenge for us really was, how do we bring experiential and how do we connect with consumers in a live environment, making the brand exceptional and making the experience exceptional. Now, this is very forward-looking. We haven't yet implemented this, but to give you a sneak peek, Patron is launching an ultra-premium tequila at a price of about 25 to 35,000 rupees a bottle called Patron El Alto. It's really the pinnacle of tequila, made with the finest blue Weber agave, with extra añejo and reposado blends, the most aged blends in tequila, and a delicious liquid at an ultra premium price point. Now, in order to make sure that we are able to bring the right association, Patron has tied up with Karan Aujla, and we'll be bringing Karan Aujla for a very exclusive, a very intimate experience for the select few in the coming month in India. So with that, a brief about what's coming up in the live space, in a very niche, super exclusive space with Karan Aujla and Patron El Alto.
Right now, India is reaching new heights. Our music is reframing how the world sees us all. And our culture, the way we celebrate moments, is becoming known across the globe.
This moment, Karan, is breaking boundaries So cheers to that.
My story begins in a place called Punjab, a land full of history. My people are real craftsmen, and I carry that pride everywhere I go and in everything I do.
Welcome to Jalisco.
The best tequila in the world.
The best tequila in the world.
Is made here.
Yes.
Where I come from, details matter. Authenticity matters. Patron El Alto. That's what real luxury is. That's what my culture truly is. Karnajla and Patron El Alto. Reach for new heights.
So this is something that's a first, bringing the live experience, but for a very niche, exclusive, super premium experience. And that's something that India will see for the first time in the coming month in Mumbai. With that, once again, a thank you to Deepak and the entire Eva Live team for this opportunity to talk about how we're bringing live and experiential on our brands in Bacardi India. Thank you once again.